This is Asher Simms from the Bahamas. You're watching some swings from their early rounds. During the early assessment rounds, to get an accurate reading how the player is swinging and how they react, I pitch batting practice from about 50 feet away. If we don't pitch from at least close to 50 feet away and pitch with a full windup, we're not going to get an accurate assessment of what's really going on in the composition of his hitting. There are two basic things I'm looking for during the early assessment rounds. Number one is a hitter hitting airplanes easily without trying. And when he's hitting those airplanes, what tempo is he operating under? What hitting tempo is he naturally wired to use? In our research, there's only two hitting tempos hitters operate under. When Asher first came in, he was alright, but the consistency wasn't there. He was actually flipping back and forth from one tempo to the other tempo. Right here, you're watching me discuss the rules for the tempo that works best for Asher and how Asher has to sequentially time his tempo with the pitcher's common denominator. Here you can see things are starting to come together for Asher. He's starting to get a better feel for his natural hitting tempo, which in turn helps to sharpen his hitting perception. Perception is when we use our senses to interpret the world around us. And obviously as a hitter, we need to interpret the ball coming in from one space and going into another space. Elite hitters know how to dominate spaces. Why is dominating spaces so important to a batter? Well, here I'm showing Asher and his family the pitcher's viewpoint of hitting. In a pitcher's meeting, the pitching coach and pitchers come together and they discuss hitters. They discuss how to get hitters out. If you melt down the pitcher's weapons he uses to get the hitters out, you only have two weapons: mess up timing and mess up space. So logically, every time you come to batting practice, if you have this on your mind and you work on mastering timing and you're mastering spaces, then you're going to thwart the pitcher's weapons. So what are we really timing at home plate? What hitters need to learn is that what they're really timing at home plate are the eyes. And what's controlling the eyes is the brain. The brain reads, processes, and formats visual patterns. This is the very reason why it's important for our hitters to commonly see a full pitching windup, a pitching from the stretch with a leg pump, a pitching from the stretch with a slide step, because it helps the brain to practice how to time the eyes. And oh yeah, the depth. We gotta stand close to 50 feet away for older players because they have to account for depth. Depth is extremely important and undervalued. If you're not doing these things, don't act surprised when your hitter cannot hit in a real live game. Okay, so now I'm explaining to Asher why it's important to keep the barrel, keep the swing as long as you can on the same path the ball is coming in at. The longer I keep the bat in the hitting zone allows me to make mistakes. If I'm early on a curveball, if my bat is on the same path as the ball for a longer period of time, I can afford to be early and still hit it well. He's learning a very simple way to do this, and it's through the deceleration patterns of the swing. I've studied 8 models of deceleration patterns that high-level hitters, elite hitters use. When we accurately use one of these 8 models, you will keep the bat longer in the hitting zone without even trying. How you decelerate will affect how you accelerate. This is our second session with Asher right now, and he is doing a great job. He's learning so many new concepts and elements. The big thing with Asher we're emphasizing is pay attention to the ball. The ball is the subject. Every time you step into the batter's box, the hitter has to make a computation that says where the ball is now and where it's going next. Here Asher foul tips the ball and goes straight back, and I walk down and we talk about sometimes it's the brain that's getting tired, not the body.
The brain is getting tired. You require every single pitch. Think. You have to arrange, process, make a computation about the ball. Ball speed, ball space, the depth that it's passing through. I'm standing about 50 feet away. That's more depth brain has got to make a range before I can count for depth. If I had a waste paper basket right here, to toss it in, it ain't much thought to toss it right there. If I move back more, it is. If I move further back, I need to calculate this depth now. Same thing with hitting. Sometimes, you know what? The moment you swing and miss, you foul it off. The ball is the subject. This, what we're doing here, this, we're doing things to help improve our timing. Timing falls into the folder of perception, as does space. This is helping my sensitivity for timing. Yeah, remember, the contest for hitting, my eye versus that ball.
To this space. Now look at Asher's face as he looks at these blurry glasses. It's like, what are we going to do with those? Inspired by neuroscience, I took a deep dive into the blurry glasses test in 2015. I studied these for 24 straight months. What they validate is that when you're really hitting good, you're using a different side of your brain that's not necessarily vision driven, but rather perception driven. We can use these now because Asher has been taught the rules and elements and concepts of how to use perception over using vision. He's been taught how to dominate spaces and to think faster than the ball's moving.
Yes! Better! Shove your face! Thank you! What did he say? Shove my face! Shove my face. Last one was beautiful. Last one was a tough hit, wasn't able to strike. What this validates, listen, in 2015, I did these for like two straight years, for 24 months. Virtually everybody who I work with, or a version of that. And it's to distort the vision. And what it validates is this. I'm in a place where I don't need 20/10 vision. I don't need 28. What vision comes down to is my perception for space. What hitting comes down to is my perception for space. I hardly have to watch well. I told you, listen, I see it, I leave it, I see it. What this validates is this. We're using perception to hit. It's the moment. I hardly have to watch the ball. As the ball's coming in, you're processing while you're looking away. And it's at nanosecond, the brain says, okay, it's going to go low, a little bit lower. And you hardly have to watch the ball. That's what's going on. You can see someone hit like 95, 97, boom, boom. You don't see the middle. It's like flash, let go. You know what I mean?
Craig Simms, thank you for your trust in making the journey from the Bahamas all the way to Anna, Texas. I have added a new video to the 6.0 online hitting course. I have made modifications to the drill that was featured in video 4.3 and video 5.11. The new video in 6.11 is going to help the slow tempo hitter. Let me tell you why video number 6.11 is so good. This video is helping hitters to be deprogrammed from our current hitting culture. Dave, what do you mean by deprogrammed from the hitting culture? Dude, if you're watching carefully what's going on inside our hitting culture, you would think a pitching coach is writing the script for hitting development. It's amazing to watch from the highest level, Major League Baseball, minor league baseball, collegiate baseball, high school baseball, travel baseball. They are all buying into this. Buying into what? Measure it and then you can develop it. How far are you hitting the ball? How hard are you hitting the ball? What is the ball exit speed? What is the bat slope into the zone? What is the bat slope out of the zone? And then the irony and the twist to all this measuring happens on a soft toss ball, like someone's flipping you a ball in a batting cage 6 feet away, 15 feet away. It's ridiculous. Does anybody tell the pitcher, hey, let's work on your command today. Let's see how accurate you are with your pitches. Oh, let's move in halfway closer to the catcher and pitch from 30 feet away. Of course not. So these so-called collected data hitting points that we get from these measurable devices aren't even from valid hitting tests. If you already have the online hitting course, go check out video 6.11. And if you don't have it, I don't know what you're waiting for, but your son and your daughter, they need this now. I'm Dave Kirilloff, languageofhitting.com, and with the Kirilloff Baseball School in Anna, Texas. Click the link in the description box to have your player start this drill today. I'm telling you, it's going to change his destination.